All right, all right, all right. It looks like I'm recording, even though my interface says I am not. I know I am. And, well, this is going to be a 4v4 matchup between Team Dise and Team WEAREFOALS. All right, let's go ahead and, well, jump into the game here. This is, I believe, Team Dise here as the Teal. Yep, Team Dise here on the southern side of Northern Fellwood version 1.2. There's human, orc, another human, and then finally another orc. So human orc times human orc. Meanwhile, we are looking at orc coming in from the north, another orc coming in from the north, another orc coming in from the north, and a human. So in this 4v4 matchup, no night elves, no undead. Should be very interesting to see the hero combinations in a 4v4 matchup as the game gets underway. 4v4 matchups can often turn into two separate 2v2s at the same time, just trying to position, and then occasionally a 3-on-2 or a 3-on-1 situation where you try to squeeze effort and squeeze efficiency out of your own units. 4v4 games generally are very fast-paced, a lot going on. I did turn on team colors, so it's easier to see where the action is, and I also turned off the terrain on the map, just so, well, it's just less confusing to see everything that's happening here. Now, heroes, well, it looks like Archmage, Farseer, and maybe a Mountain King. Yep, and a Mountain King coming in from Dise. Generally, you want more ranged units in 4v4 games because your units start to clog up. Battles become problematic, and, well, you also want a lot of AoE damage. So Blizzard, Flame Strike, Rain of Fire, things like that, you're able to, well, unload large amounts of damage and then try and pick off units later on. We're going to see some, well, early creeping coming across from all of the maps here. We're going to see a Blade Master making its way down, Farseer and Spirit Wolves, and then a Tauren Chieftain. So the Orc side on the north going for all three types of heroes already as the early creep camps are getting cleared out. All right. Coming back through, Archmage trying to go after this Dark Troll Warlord creep camp. This is going to be a militia clear on the laboratory. This could be fairly difficult as the Shaman does even also has Rejuvenation. So Rejuvenation, a very powerful regeneration skill, obviously, that could cause problems here. Militia now making its way down here. Toma Strength quickly getting picked up. We should be looking at a level 2 Archmage here. Meanwhile, Blade Master Windwalking making its way down as both sides are doing a little bit of scouting. Farseer chasing after the Tauren Chieftain off to the north. He opted to go for, well, Endurance Aura first. He's able to move around the map very quickly, and with that increased movement speed, able to actually outrun that Farseer. Auras could make a very big difference in this matchup, as the more units an aura affects, well, mathematically, the more you are getting out of that aura. So big items or big damage bonuses, such like the Kodo Beast, because there's so many orcs out here on the battlefield, could be a very big deal. Trying to theory craft ways what these players are going to try and perhaps do. I do see text to tier 2. Nope, no tech to tier 2 here. It looks like it's going to be a militia clear and perhaps an expansion attempt. Meanwhile, Invigorate down all across here is not teching to tier 2 either, going for Lumber Mill, as we see a tech to tier 2 by the Orcs. Off on the north side, Orc is teching, and Human is also teching as well. All right. Keeping track of all of the action going to be difficult. We see an Arcane Vault, Arcane feedback there. Footman going to dive in here, and, well, Dice's base is rather sparse. One peasant already down. Scroll of Town Portal needed, and, well, they're going to try to hold that door as another peasant gets taken out. Dual Scroll of Town Portal, and this is that 2v2 fighting that we were expecting. There's another one right there. Mountain King, Stormbolt onto the Archmage. Archmage is going to be forced to use the Scroll of Town Portal in order to get away. No real chance. There is that right there, as we're looking at more damage going down across as well. All right, Blade Master forced to retreat back here. There's this expansion here by Dise. It is going to be scouted out. You can see that there is a pink footman who is scouting this location and knows about what's going on here. as well, Dise tries to set up this expo. Mountain King is sitting at level 3, does have a, well, level 2 Stormbolt and plenty of bullets in the chamber, so to speak. Down to 32 hit points. Are we going to see a Stormbolt? There's that Stormbolt. There's going to be a surround. Blade Master should be wind-walking. Well, no, finishes off the Peasant. Are we going to see a Stormbolt now onto that Blade Master? Blade Master trying to get away, should be able to get away easily. Boots of Speed outclassing Mountain King. Well, not going to be able to throw a Stormbolt off there. Off to the north, more creeping. And now it looks like a one-on-one fight here. Wolf could get finished off pretty easily. Nope, not going to get finished off. Should just turn around, at least get a little bit of that experience. That was pretty much gift wrapped right into your lap there. Are we going to see there's that experience there as we now rotate back towards the other side. All right, Farseer going up against the Tauren Chieftain here. Tauren Chieftain still sitting at level 1. Farseer still sitting at level 1 as the units look to fall back. Now, the additional economy of Dise should help out tremendously. Blade Master Storm Bolted. Is it going to get surrounded in time? That's the question. And now that Blade Master trying to double back around the other side. Only 5 units unable to execute a proper surround there. Meanwhile, we could get another Storm Bolt. No, the Footmen unable to body block that Blade Master. As we're looking at the Farseer here, perhaps going to try to do a little bit more creeping. We are at tier 2 in multiple locations. Dual bestiary. This was without a barracks off over here. We are taking to tier 2. There's that lumber mill. We need to see some arcane towers as well. Dise is still sitting at tier 1 as he's trying to recover some of that lost economy from that expansion attempt. Mountain King going to come across here. Farseer sitting at level 3. We're going to see that tracker get taken down. Pure up the vitality given to the Farseer to get a little bit more additional hit points. Shadow Hunter going to go ahead and join up on this fight. There's a Tome of Intelligence there, perhaps given to the Mountain King or Farseer. Farseer getting that little bit of bonus damage. All right, more action coming back against the other way. Archmage trying to put in pressure. 2-on-1 right here. We're looking at Footman with the Fend, able to reflect back some of that damage. And suddenly the Orc Burrows need to get that reinforced defenses. Those reinforced defense. We are taking the tier 3 by the Orc off to the north here, and once that reinforced defense is done, I believe this pressure on that Orc base is going to stop. Meanwhile, we see a quick Hex right there. Dual units trying to come back around. Wind Riders are coming across here. There's going to be Scroll of Speed trying to catch up. Fast-moving Seal with that Raider. Are we going to see another Hex? Yes, we are. A little bit more damage, trying to add up more. There's an Ensnare. Down goes that Shadow Hunter. Off to the north, we are going to see another ensnare onto another Blade Master here. Blade Master could be in trouble, but now suddenly we're going to get, well, come from behind again. All right, Farseer ends up getting taken down, and I believe that Farseer was the one that was holding the Scroll of Town Portal. This Shadow Hunter could be in a little bit of trouble now as they're stuck off to the north. The other units, the other side needs to come across and engage well as the Mountain King going to be making its way over, also bringing in a Shadow Hunter as well. This entire north side is just in a really bad situation as the Shadow Hunter and the Raiders need to retreat back. Footmen, or the Footmen and the Archmage do have, well, Mountain King now going to come back across here, perhaps going to try to get a Stormbolt going onto the Shadow Hunter. Well, the Healing Ward is now taken down. Mountain King still has plenty of mana to go and still making its rounds as well. All right, are we going to see some perhaps bashes or anything else? There was a quick Hex onto a Footman here as the Shadow Hunter able to, well, get out of that dicey situation and now make its way back. There's going to be a big fight over here on the top right-hand side. We are at Keep. Farseer sitting at level 3. Mountain King sitting at level 3, putting in that pressure. It looks like it will be a 2-on-2 fight here with defensive positions for the pink team as they're putting in the pressure now. Meanwhile, Farseer could be in a little bit of trouble here. Orc versus Orc on this side. We're going to get reinforcements from Orc as well if they try to come over, and nope, they're not coming over. Wind Riders being able to do a lot of poking, and Teal may be forced to back up here. This is just a horrible spot. And, well, the Northern Army is just going to be able to pick off all of these Raiders and get in some big damage and big wins all across the map. That is not looking good at all for the Southern Army. Panda making its way through, trying to come back across that center line now. We're looking at a couple of aside creeps retrained to Blizzard, and no big surprise there. Scroll of Regeneration. Oddly enough, the spiked barricades actually killing one of the Footmen. I guess that's a very high level version of that spiked barricade, as we're looking at more Blizzard now raining down. Archmage is going to go ahead and teleport back to defend. Where is it teleporting to? Down across here, as we can see well, this is going to be a problem. There's a big shockwave here. Well, that shockwave taking down multiple peasants. More repairs are going to be needed as the Blizzard tries to stop well, some of those other remaining units. Raiders getting caught out in the open. Meanwhile, another fight over here on the top right-hand side of the map. Always battling somewhere, it seems. All right, Farseer doing a little bit more hit-and-run tactic. Raider, finds a Raider that was ensnared. The two of the Raiders able to retreat back there, but now the Raiders are running back home again.
A player's forces are under attack.
All right, so in terms of gold mines, we're still looking at 4 versus 5. Dice's additional gold mine on the southern side. Currently, the difference as Dise is now going into Tier 3. A little bit of break in the action as they're trying to figure out where to go next. Shadowhunter, Blade Master, and Panda working together, as these armies are oddly enough able to get past each other without engaging in the middle portion of the map. All right, here we go once more. Berserkers are going to be ready. Spellbreakers trying to retreat back. And we're going to get some damage onto the Arcane Vault here as well. So, Pink going to be losing that Arcane Vault. 2 armies off to the north. Tauren Chieftain perhaps going to try and get some shockwave damage onto some of these buildings. Perhaps it could work, as we're looking at the Archmage here of Foals also retraining perhaps to Blizzard. Arcane Tower going to feed back that Panda. This is completely wide open now. Panda could try and perhaps Breath of Fire some of these buildings, take down some of those peasants, and will halt all this production. Meanwhile, Raiders are once more diving into the bestiary. We are looking at reinforced, or the spiked barricade. That is some big damage being poked back here, but still, the Raiders with all of that, the Raiders with Siege should be able to take down these buildings pretty quickly. Orc Burrows and spiked barricades not going to be enough, but it is going to soften these guys up just a little bit. All right, a little 2-on-1 fight here. Meanwhile, another battle happening here, just putting pressure again. So both sides are just trying to exchange base races as a Scroll of Town Portal is now about to land. All right, coming across here, Archmage going to go ahead and get a bit of damage. There's a Blizzard. There's some repairs. Tauren Chieftain, could he get another shockwave down onto all of these units? That is going to be the question. The Stronghold's trying to hold steady at 100 hit points. It looks like it's going to fall down to 30. Holding, no. Ends up falling right there, but at what cost as the healing wards are placed down? All right, Tauren Chieftain could be in a bad move. No, he ends up surviving. Scroll of Town Portal to get out of here, and suddenly it is now 4 bases to 4 bases as this expansion, or this main base, was lost. All right, both sides still continuing the fight. Mountain King trying to go up against so many Spellbreakers. Not a good position to be in, but both sides losing some precious mana. There's going to be a Siphon Mana. Mountain King goes in for the Thunderclap, racks in a little bit more damage, but now the Mountain King himself is going to be in a little bit of trouble. Siphon Mana giving mana back to that Mountain King. Mountain King is going to be able to Storm Bolt up the other way as the, armies are still diving across. All right, so just trying to shut down the mining operations, limit the economy, and then make the game go long. That seems to be what the Pink Army wants to do, slowly whittling away at the economic advantage and then being able to come out ahead. Now, Foals, I didn't catch this, does have an expansion over here, and we also see another expansion attempt coming in from Orc. So Orc and the the Pink Army off to the north, looking to go up on bases. All right. Now, in terms of strategy, these hit-and-run strategy tactics by the Pink Orc with that Endurance Aura seems to be working. Now, finishing off the remainder of this base here is going to be key, making sure that he doesn't get back into this. But he also has to be careful about wasting some of his time, as we're looking at Pink off to the north here, able to push back another counterattack. This is exactly what is needed here, as we see a Scroll of Town Portal to try and retreat back away. Mountain King, Potion of Invulnerability, units of still fighting around left and right, as the Raiders are looking to, perhaps transition to a new place, take down the Arcane Vault, perhaps take down other buildings, and get a little bit of gold. All right, I believe that's this side. No, is it this side? So is he getting? Yes, he is getting a gold from pillage. So this is definitely worth it. Tauren Chieftain comes across, gets another shockwave. Now gonna back up again, and then continue to perhaps put in a bit more pressure. The grunts are also here as well. They're gonna dive in and then perhaps go after more of these buildings again. All right, Arcane Tower is going to get shut down here. Now going after the Keep. Keep now down to 1,500 hit points and falling quickly. Repairs are going to be underway. There's a couple of ensnares. There's a Stomp, and there's a Hex onto the Tauren Chieftain. That is going to delay the Scroll of Town Portal out. That could be a problem. Uses a Shockwave, but that Shockwave's not going to do anything. And suddenly the Tauren Chieftain teleports back home with pretty much only 2 Raiders. All right, down to 35 supply. The Teal Orc army off to the north, still in play. This expansion, or this starting location, no longer mining. And now at this point, taking down the main buildings may not necessarily be worth it. The expansions are starting to get low, or the starting locations are starting to get low on gold. And once they get this low on gold, well, you may not be able to, well, invest enough. There goes a Stormbolt onto an Archmage, but Archmage able to shake it off with the invulnerability from that Scroll of Town Portal. Armies still trying to engage, well, trying to catch units out in midfield. Slow. There's a quick Hex onto some units there. There goes another Sorceress in the back. Perhaps some Wind Riders are going to be able to poke down that last Priest there. So 6 supply worth of casters suddenly gone. And the Teal Orc, or the Pink Army trying to chase after here, but suddenly a large counter Human Orc coming back in again. All right, it looks like we're trying to go straight after this Keep. Tauren Chieftain now sits at level 5. Shockwave rips through a bunch of peasants again, and this is going to be a problem. Meanwhile, Blood Mage is going to be siphoning some mana away once more. Are we going to be looking at more Shockwave again? Yes, there we go. More Shockwave, Thunderclap, Blizzard, and suddenly, well, all the units need to head back out. Mountain King back out onto the battlefield. There goes another Raider. Hit and run tactic, not nearly as effective. Back off to the north again. Farseer able to retreat back, trying to finish off some of those extra units. So anywhere at any given time, these armies are constantly fighting against each other and trying to get into position. Figuring out where to attack and where your opponent will have to spend more time to walk to get into a defensive spot is pretty much key right now, as we're looking at another Wind Rider getting taken out. Blizzard raining down, not quite sure well, who is winning out on that fight there. There's a lot of Spellbreakers in that position, and a lot of Spellbreakers off to the north. Blade Master of Pink forced to use the Scroll of Town Portal to retreat back out. It could expose, yes, a solo Orc there, and that's always the problem. When you Scroll of Town Portal to save your own hero, you may end up putting yourself in a position where you're even further behind for your team, since it suddenly becomes a 2-on-1 fight, and you're forced to try and retreat back out. Could be a little bit of a problem if your teammates don't tactically try to retreat in time. Farseer gets ensnared. He's going to be in trouble. He's going to get taken down as the Tauren Chieftain nearly now at level 6, taking down another Raider off to the north. Tauren Chieftain is at 5 here, does have a potion of mana. Perhaps we're going to see some shockwaves go down to perhaps on that backline position, but Bloodlusted army, and that is a very, very robust army. A shockwave rips through, but not a lot of damage, as well, a lot of those units were Spellbreakers and are magic immune. All right, Tauren Chieftain comes in with a Stomp. A lot of damage going around back both ways, and we're still falling. Well, level 2 Blade Master falls in this fight here. All right. Teal is seemingly starting to get surrounded, but able to break free because of those blizzards, as we're looking at the Shadowhunter trying to retreat back again. Tauren Chieftain sitting at level 5. Another Tauren Chieftain sitting at level 2. Tauren Chieftain without mana, well, needs to regroup with the rest of his army and give a little bit more damage again. Just so difficult to find the right spot and the right way to approach this. This battle is just pure and absolute utter chaos with these Tauren Chieftains. Now still fighting around. Tauren Chieftain gets, well, Storm Bolted, followed by a Hex, unable to use that Scroll of Town Portal in order to make its way back out. Chain Lightning still bouncing around. This is the real first long, drawn-out fight. and Dice's team showing why, even though they are behind on economy, we're still doing such a great job there. Another Archmage going to get taken down, and hero after hero on the pink army absolutely getting destroyed. Remember, there's bloodlusted inner fire raider or mortar teams part of this army, but Dice needs to keep track of them. If he's going to lose those units in the back, it's going to be difficult to try and take down these buildings as this mortar team gets cleaned up. All right, Blizzard still trying to, well, clean up these units here, but remember, as I said, the starting location and mining are not going to be nearly as important, as there's going to be less and less gold to mine from. Meanwhile, units are, as they're getting, well, pulled across the battlefield, are actually getting lost in transit. There goes a fortress there. Siphon mana from a priest, continuing as this paladin could be in trouble as well. All right, northern position going to be breaking here. We're going to be looking at the Archmage now teleporting and now making its way all the way back home. Are we going to see another teleport here? There's a couple of armies here off to the north. Not quite sure why this army felt convicted to try and teleport back, as we're looking at liquid fire. Well, more damage here. Blademaster now looking to retreat back again. All right. These more central gold mines are going to become more and more key as the main gold mines mine out. Let's take a look here. This gold mine nearly mined out. This gold mine has 5 minutes of mining left. This gold mine is nearly mined out. This gold mine has 6 minutes of mining left. All right, Teal trying to make sure that the economy does not work for the northern side here. More units still falling. Mountain King continuing to, well, finish off some of these peasants. Well, a quick thunderclap here, and this Great Hall will get taken down. All right, another ensnare. We're looking at level 5 Archmage. Well, Berserkers, Farseer, Shadowhunter looking to put pressure here. We're looking at a bunch of raiders cleaning up the rest of this human base here, taking down key buildings and stopping any production units. All right, so in terms of base hit points, the northern side does definitely have more. So if it turns into a base race scenario, that is going to be a major key point. Also, mining has pretty much stopped for Dice completely. No more mining at the expo, no mining here, and only 4 minutes of mining left at this main base. Northern side, however, are also losing a lot of their mining operations at, well, a very fast speed as well. So we're going to be looking at a couple of units getting taken down. Mountain King trying to finish things off. Blizzard raining down, taking down a lot of these peasants who are looking to repair, and this is going to get taken out in pretty much record time too. All right, level 3 now on that Blood Mage. And I count one mining base, one mining base. I count one mining base. All right, we're 22 minutes into this game, and there's only one base out of the 8 original that are operational. All right, Teal army now making its way off to the north. This inner fire, bloodlusted Archmage led with mana army able to move across the map very quickly. Spellbreakers incredibly powerful as they are magic immune, and it means Blizzard and Thunderclap does not affect them. By being able to shake off all of that damage, well, they're able to stand and amongst all of the chaos and still figure out ways to fight effectively. All right, Raiders, well, destroying more of these buildings. I guess this is how gold is still being mined by the Pink Army, right? By the Pink Army as he's going now into Fortress. All right, so is he going to try to buy a tiny Great Hall? Is that the reason why he's going for a Fortress, as this base is pretty much destroyed in an instant? All right, multiple watchtowers being placed down by the Orc player here, just trying to make it difficult to get finished off. But remember, there is Blizzard and potentially Flame Strike available out on the battlefield. Also, this Great Hall is being built directly next to 2 former buildings of the other side, so they know exactly that expansion is currently being placed down. Teal army still a massive death ball on the move, trying to finish things off here. Tauren Chieftain perhaps should also be trying to get shockwaves off and get damage any way it can across multiple buildings, since this is turning into a base race scenario. Tauren Chieftain should be going after cluster of low hit point of wide building or small buildings such as these orc burrows and towers, any way to just be slightly more effective in their timing. Tauren Chieftain unsure of how to approach this. Spiked barricades coupled with everything else. Tauren Chieftain gonna line up. There's a shockwave ripping on through. You can see the Archmage coming across here. There's Blizzard coupled with Breath of Fire taking down multiple buildings and may need it again. All right, Tauren Chieftain gonna line back up. There goes another round of buildings again. Panda gonna come across and blow the house down as well, and that seems to be just the ongoing strategy here. All right, trying to line things up. Brilliance Aura Panda coming across here. Where's that Breath of Fire? There it is, blowing 3 watchtowers down in an instant as the Scroll of Town Portal now inbound. I believe there's multiple. There's 1 and there is 2 to try and get some defense going. All right, Paladin is going to be able to escape. It looks like it's going to try and heal. Mountain King doesn't get a bash in, trying to do a little bit of a shaking. Scroll of Town Portal transferring there as it's going to go ahead and teleport out. All right, Mountain King still here, going to clear things up. Where did the Paladin still ended up falling? How did that happen? I thought he had a Scroll of Town Portal. Or was that a Staff? All right, I thought that was teleporting out. All right, Panda also gets cleaned up here, so the pink Panda getting cleaned down as a lot of these buildings are, well, lost and now need to be repaired or rebuilt. All right, farm being built off on the side corner of the map. Little bit of, well, lot of gold left in this northern gold mine. Little bit of mining here happening at the 2 o'clock spot. We're gonna see this farm and just get added in. It may get scouted out here by raiders. Yeah, will get scouted out. No real fight here, and now we're in this end game where one mistake can, well, lead to tragedy, and that's what you're just trying to do. You're trying to not make mistakes and come out on top. Mountain King, another thunderclap should pretty much clear up this entire location here. Great Hall, that spiked barricade, not gonna prevent or deal damage back to the Spellbreakers. Only the Mountain King taking some damage back here. Meanwhile, Tauren Chieftain throws down a stomp, tries to save this expansion here. Tauren Chieftain does get up to level 6 after throwing down a shockwave, and now may, well, try to rinse and repeat. That is a lot of low hit point buildings that would fall at a single shockwave again. All right, Infernal gonna get cleaned up. Legion of Doom, well, Unholy Aura now. Legion Doom Horn, or, well, Unholy Aura for the Archmage. Meanwhile, back to the south here, trying to finish off any and last of these peons, as we are still looking at some long distance mining happening from around from this gold mine around the corner. Another expansion trying to take place here. Perhaps some long distance mining could be had here. Some, well, nearly full saturation on this gold mine as well, as buildings are being replaced in order to resurrect and train back up those all-important heroes. All right, there's a Breath of Fire blowing things over again. There goes another Sorceress. Units are just falling very quickly. Staff of Teleportation inbound. Mountain King going to Stormbolt the Blade Master. Blade Master could be in trouble. Is he going to be able to escape away? There's another Stormbolt. So dual Mountain King Stormbolt, but no follow-up Hex to scroll lock or stun lock that Blade Master.
Players' forces are under attack.
Stormbolt onto the Mountain King, or from the Mountain King onto the Panda. Another thunderclap there. Are we going to see another Stormbolt? There's a healing wave. There's another Stormbolt going down. There's another one as well. Bolt, down goes the Panda at level 3. Quick Hex onto this Mountain King right here, who actually has 2 Scrolls of Town Portal, oddly enough. Units are going to be treating back again as the Wind Riders are trying to finish off some more buildings off to the south. Handful of buildings left. Everyone is just trying to stay together in this instance and keep things going just a little while longer. Gold perhaps should be given here, as there is chance for production of a couple of pink buildings off to the southern side to try and retrain. 23 over 25, perhaps trying to build up another farm and then get a little bit of gold going. Wind Riders finishing off buildings here. Is anyone being revealed? That is now the question, as we're looking at the main pink army pushing pressure into the main last stronghold of the pink northern army here. Watchtower is going to try and fight back here. This is a good place for defense. Holy Light Archmage will be using that Blizzard to try and control those Berserkers on the back. Mounted, or Paladin, actually invisible to will not be a giant target to be able to heal back up these other units. Tauren Chieftain gets a Stormbolt, gonna force a fight, force an engagement. There's a Thunderclap, and there's that follow-up, a Blizzard, all of that rack up damage. We do see a healing ward placed down. Tauren Chieftain could be in trouble, down to, well, 100 hit points. He falls, and that 1-2 combination from two Mountain Kings, just so strong and so difficult to shake off. 38 over 41 supply. Still difficult to see who's going to come out on top, as the Wind Riders are trying to, well, do their best to poke down all of these buildings and perhaps win the building race with piercing damage. All right, Archmage comes across a little bit more. Blizzard raining down here. AoE damage racking up. Mortar Team just hanging back, not knowing what buildings he should be taking out. As we're looking at, well, Kodo Beast. Are we going to see some Berserkers? Are we going to see some engagement here? Perhaps a Purge. No purges. No ensnares either. There's finally a Purge, and that's going to be a downed Wind Rider. But is it enough here? As the unit's falling back, Tauren Chieftain says, you know what, let's go ahead and Shockwave, take down a couple more buildings. Let's go ahead and back off here. There is a stasis trap right there as well, as the Panda needs to get out of this position. Going to try and retreat back out. You can see what is going on here. Oh, the stasis trap onto the Panda. Panda gets caught by the stasis trap and gets cleaned up. Meanwhile, more buildings off to the north here continuing to get destroyed. We're talking about efficiency all over the place. Who's going to be able to finish off more buildings in a timely manner? This Northern Expo still mining gold after all this time, as the mortar teams trying to finish off more of these buildings quickly. All right, where is this guy going to teleport to? Teleport back down to the south here. I'm going to try and engage. There's some inner fire stealing as the, well, pink army looking to disengage. All right, this is going to be the last fortress, so the last place to actually teleport to. This is going to get cleaned up. This army trying to retreat back. Mountain King, however, with Stormbolts, am able to pick off any unit that is trying to retreat back out. It feels like Teal has the larger army, since they're the. And by looking at the minimap, you can see them moving around the map more. But at the same time, it feels like Pink has more buildings. Archmage still trying to retreat. There's a banish. That's actually a little bit of a dangerous call right there. A little bit of damage. Gonna go ahead and siphon some mana into that Mountain King once more. Units looking to, well, regroup, retreat.
Players' forces are under attack.
Archmage, well, teleporting away from here, able to get back off to the north. Mountain King looking, oh, there's a massive Thunderclap. Gonna finish off one Berserker. Gonna finish off another Berserker, perhaps. There's some damage there. And now trying to just finish all of these units off again and again, taking down another one as well. Mountain King, well, really benefiting from having a lot of mana. That Blood Mage giving that mana, giving that Mountain King mana to get in 2 Thunderclaps and 2 Stormbolts before that Scroll of a Town portal whisked all those units back. All right. Tauren Chieftain was trying to take this down. Shadowhunter going to try and engage here. Tauren Chieftain going to back up once more. There's a Teal army going up against a pink army. Who's going to come out on top? There goes another Raider. Staff of Teleportation inbound. Mountain King looking for a... And we're looking for still a little bit more pressure. Another Staff of Teleportation inbound again. That is another Mountain King. We could be looking at multiple Stormbolts onto units. And there goes a Shadowhunter just before, I believe, the Scroll of Town portal was able to whisk him away. All right. More buildings slowly getting cleaned up. One peasant just hiding in the back off over here. What is going down? A couple more. The Teal army going to finish off more of these units again. as an expo trying to be established to get a little bit more gold. All right, we are teching the tier 2, perhaps for better items from the Voodoo Lounge, or I'm not quite sure what other reason. Is he going to try and train up more units? 21 over 20 supply. This is 29 over 51. Still has a decent amount of supply count as we're looking at another Farseer about to get taken out. Mountain King should be able to get in a Stormbolt here. Blade Master. Oh, Farseer gets away at 5 or 11 hit points. Blade Master transferred that Scroll of Town portal right there as the units are still trying to regroup again. Archmage finding a peasant out in the middle of nowhere. And there's a peon there. Panda could be in a little bit of trouble. Panda actually breaks free. There's a Breath of Fire. Potion of Invulnerability, not going to last forever. We could be looking at a Stormbolt. Stormbolt onto the Panda. Panda is going to be in some serious trouble. There's a Blizzard right in front of him. Panda takes a different route. Is it going to be enough? No, it is not. Archmage of Teal now has mass teleport, most likely, and should be able to get should be able to move across the map very efficiently and effectively. Down to the south here, another building getting cleaned up. The Teal army being everywhere it wants to be is a big deal, as more farms and more buildings going to get cleaned up off on the southern side here. Panda looking to engage, perhaps take down a couple of these wolves as the pink buildings are getting cleaned up. The army of Teal is just so much larger that anytime a building is in question or being threatened, the Teal army is able to get there relatively quickly. All right, finishing off some towers here. Trying to finish down some of these, perhaps some of these peasants. Going to be some storm. Well, there goes another Stormbolt. Mountain King now sitting at level 5. Level 3 Stormbolt going to continue to poke. We could be looking at a Stormbolt onto their staff of. No, that could be mass teleport inbound. That could be trouble. Archmage is there, and that's going to be one dead Berserker pretty easily. One final shot there. Meanwhile, down to the south, the Teal building. Well, takes a shockwave. Scroll of Town portal inbound. Mountain King shows up to the party. Is he going to try and Stormbolt here? There's a Stormbolt. The Wind Riders could come back around and start poking at that Mountain King again. And there's more poking onto the Fortress. Fortress down to 350 hit points. Siphon mana as the Tauren Chieftain is somehow able to get away. And it looks as though this... Well, no, not going to fall. Wind Rider is only able to get it down to 271. Meanwhile, Shadow Hunter and a couple of Spirit Wolves going to finish off, the Dire Wolves going to finish off this Altar of Kings here as the Wind Riders are finding more farms out on the wings. More expansion off to the north here. Resurrection for the Shadow Hunter and that Panda, level 4, level 3, and trying to get up a couple of Troll Bat Riders as well. All right. Units coming across to engage. This could be a problem. These Wind Riders need to get away and get away quickly. Down to 227 hit points. Is that Wind Rider going to be able to escape? No, he is not. Unable to fly over the tree line in time. Tauren Chieftain heads all the way back home. There's a Troll Bat Rider ready once more. We see a couple more heroes being trained up again. Farseer going to try and take down a peasant here. I believe, yes, this fortress will finally get taken out. So that's going to be one main building lost. There's also a lot of stationary sentry wards out on the battlefield. And we're looking at the bestiary trying to train up more flying units. Not going to work out well now that the Archmage has shown up to the party and well, has access to all of these range casters who can actually hit up. 20 over 62 supply. It feels like Teal's army is going to be just too mobile now once the Archmage got to level 6. And now, well, Wind Rider's trying to fight back the other way again, trying to stop the mining here. Shadow Hunter, there's another Hex going down, just trying to finish things off. Hex lasting a very, very long time as the Blade Master shows up, but the Blade Master doesn't have any way to shoot up either. All right, more Wind Riders coming back across. We're going to see another downed Teal hero as this base could be in trouble. Meanwhile, this base off to the north is going to get cleaned up. Mass teleport bringing the army back and fighting across over here. There's going to be a Stormbolt onto the Brewmaster. Brewmaster trying to get away. He gets another Stormbolt again. Could get hexed. No, doesn't even need to bother with it as the Brewmaster falls at level 3. Well, more mining still happening, but I don't believe there's just anything that the pink army can really do any longer. Not enough supply, trying to build up more. I believe Dice's army, or Dice's team, the southern side, is going to be the victors here. Yep, Dice's army looking to be on the stronger position as the Farseer picks up perhaps some more items. Yes, gets another Scroll of Town Portal. Tauren Chieftain is right here. He's going to try to go after anything. No, he is not. Shockwave finishes off and now takes down that farm. Tauren Chieftain still wandering around as we're looking at Bloodlusted Tauren Chieftain trying to catch up. All right, there's going to be a little bit of damage. No, there is a Wand of Wind Charge. Could pick up the Tauren Chieftain, but he'll just try and Scroll of Town Portal away again. There's a Hex. There's a Stomp. There's a Surround. And there's a Scroll of Town Portal. Teleporting back over here. Supply count 21 over 21. Needs to build up another Orc Burrow to try and rebuild slowly but surely. There's another Hex onto an Archmage. Archmage could be in some serious trouble. There's a Purge. Purge to try and double, purging Archmage trying to double back around. Are we going to perhaps get a Stomp here? Nope, there is another Hex again. There's a Chain Lightning, and the Teal army once again catches a hero out of position. As long as Teal is also mining from bases, or mining from at least one base, this base isn't going to matter very much. It's not going to help. We need to see more Orc Burrows. The economic game is just going the other way, and it feels like, well, the wheels are just falling off of this, of the pink army and its chances for victory. Yeah, so many sentry wards being placed everywhere. I think they're buildings. They're not. Teal army finds this last base, and with this, all hopes should be gone for any victory here. Mortar teams being brought back over. Quick Stormbolt finishing things off. Blood Mage making its way over as well. Could give mana to that Mountain King, just in case it wants to do anything. There's a Stormbolt onto another Peon, making sure it doesn't get away. 20 over 10 supply now, and this will be the last, I believe, burrow here. Shockwave going after a couple more buildings. Tauren Chieftain looking to back up again. Where are the buildings? That is really the key. How many buildings are left? 2 farms off there. We still see these farms here. No more mining. So could the Tauren Chieftain and the Blade Master actually finish off these buildings? That is the big question. All right, like, that is a very big question indeed. Can the Tauren Chieftain line things up? Yes, takes down, I don't know if he took down a peasant or not here. There's a Breath of Fire adding in more damage, and now the Brewmaster trying to retreat back again, just using those AoE spells against buildings to try and win out. There's a handful of buildings left off over here. There's one peon, one peasant down over here. That could be built as well. Blizzard trying to rain down. I believe the Wind Rider is going to be able to dodge a little bit of that damage, as there's still more pressure being placed down onto these buildings here. All right, it is going to come down to who has the last building, as we now see a staff or an inbound Scroll of Town Portal by the Farseer. Tauren Chieftain quickly gets hexed. Are we going to perhaps see a Stormbolt as well? Mountain King needs to get into position. Can't catch up to the Tauren Chieftain. Tauren Chieftain trying to retreat back here. There could be another hex. Tauren Chieftain going to get knocked down. He's going to get back up again, but he's probably going to get knocked down just as quickly. Completely surrounded by so many, and I've never seen a resurrected Tauren... Oh, wait, what? I think the entire Teal army thought for a moment, okay, he's dead. You get the last hit. No, you get the last hit. No, you get the last hit. Chain Lightning bouncing around. Wind Rider is getting felled pretty quickly. But importantly, the main building was lost. So that means any hidden farm is now going to be exposed. There is one building hiding left on the map right now, down in this southern spot. And also this great hall being built off to the north, but there is a sentry ward right here keeping track of it. Farseer falls at level 5. You gotta forgive me if I miss anything. This is just so incredibly difficult to spot anything here. Brewmaster purposely hiding off on the side here of the map with that Brilliance aura to get enough mana to perhaps be able to Breath of Fire down these last couple of buildings. All right, this great hall about to get cleaned up here. There is sentry wards galore.
Players' forces are under attack.
Spellbreaker making its way off to the north. 2 farms being hidden off to the very far north here. Brewmaster trying to retreat back. Blade Master, nope, that's a peon. Where's the other heroes? Okay, there's a Mountain King. There's the there's the Brewmaster. There's that Blade. Well, there was the Blade Master who basically got stun locked, even though he had a potion of invulnerability, and now is going to come down to the Brewmaster to try and hold things off. Not very good chances whatsoever. Pretty much, who needs a map hack when you have, well, Witch Doctors with mana in this 4v4 game? Brewmaster walks into a bar, tries to Breath of Fire, pretty much going to get cleaned up, and that is going to be the game. The standing army of Teal, large enough to outlast all of the buildings that the pink army had. Let me know what you guys thought about this 45-minute marathon of a 4v4 game.